Well, good evening if anybody's there. We're back on Virtual Pool 4 Online. We're here on VP4 TV for a match that for a day or two we didn't think was going to go ahead. Match between Tommyy from Germany and Zangetsu from South Africa. And Tommyy was supposed to be caught up in work. I'll fix that in 2 seconds, Larry, because this has been a rush job. There we go. That should be us. But anyway, Tommy's turned up. It is a race to 11 and the 1 loss side. And it's one of the 2 matches that are scheduled. The other one being the one at the weekend, which is on Saturday at 7 PM British Summer Time, which is 2 PM Eastern Standard Time, 11 AM Pacific. That's the 1 loss side match between Larry and Semi-Pro. So this match tonight, Tommy's had some good strong results in his last few matches, and you would think that Zangetsu is going to have to step up his game. Zangetsu's been in practicing all day, so he's been putting the time and effort in. Good evening to Larry. I think there'll be a few people maybe dropping by once they realise it's up and running. I wasn't sure whether it was going to go ahead or not, so I wasn't 100% prepared. So Steve was asking in the lobby last night. He was posting a message about people contacting support about interest in the leak testing. I don't know how many people have actually approached him. It sounds as if he needs more, or not that many people have bothered. Right, the room is up. Lag for the break. We might have missed that. Looks as if we have, and it's Zangetsu that has won the lag. And straight away,
where's the cue ball going?
So that's a bad start. Good evening to Semi-Pro. Now let me just change that cloth colour as well. So I don't know whether Steve knows it. Well, I presume he knows this is on. Whether he's going to drop in, he hasn't said anything. He's probably too busy. So Tommyy on the reds, and he's going to have a problem. And the problem is those 2 reds in the bottom left-hand corner, because it's a tight space, and he's got to get out to be able to pot the other one. And I think the problem is he hasn't got much room to manoeuvre here, by the way. This doesn't look quite as simple as it might. And he needs to, at worst, skim off that one when he pots this one and hit the yellow. Exactly like that. And now he needs to stun this and skim past the 8 if he can, and not hook himself like that. It was always going to be dodgy in that tight space. So now Tommyy is in trouble. He's trying to pick a line. I don't know what that looks as if it's not. I don't think he's seen the line at all, but that certainly wasn't it. Now Zangetsu can have a good start if he can make use of this free shot. And the obvious problem is that yellow above the 8 ball. Gets rid of that. He wants to be maybe stopping the cue ball there or thereabouts, just in the table, to get rid of that one that's just above the cue ball. Well, like I say, I don't know what Tommyy does for a living, but if he is in Germany, then it's 8:05 at night his time. Unless he's in a hurry to get to work, I don't know. Depends what shifts he works. He could be working back shift or whatever sometime into the evening, or he could be working night shift. We don't know, or he might not be working at all. But this will be a good start for Zangetsu if he can get out. Well, take the one on the left first, roll the second one. He's going for this one over the pocket. I'd be taking the one on the left first and rolling the other one onto the one over the pocket rather than getting out of there. Because that would be the simpler way to go about it. Then take the one up top and roll the 8-ball in. Seems simple enough. Well, now this could end up going a bit weird here if he doesn't get good on this red that's over the pocket, because the angle that he's got in this yellow is taking him up the table, and he might be on near the rail to take this yellow. Well, he's bided his time, and Tommyy just has to give this a blast and hope he gets lucky. Welcome everybody. Who the hell is Handful of Potatoes? Welcome Slim. Well, that was all that Tommyy could do, is just give it a blast. Well, let's have a look. Well, it's not quite got cover. Another couple of inches there, even half an inch, and that could have caused a problem for Zangetsu. Well, he's presumably looking to nudge the 8-ball here. Although he doesn't really need to nudge it, but I don't know whether he can avoid it if he's taking that one over the pocket first. Well, again, he's biding his time, and this is even more difficult for Tommyy. He's going to have to kick the rail. He might knock the yellow in doing this. Coming off the back of the 8-ball, it's always liable to go towards the pocket. Well, this 8-ball, has it got legs? I don't think it has. But this time, Zangetsu can't mess about any longer. Needs to get it done. Welcome to VP Monster. So I think this is about the third attempt for Zangetsu in this first rack. On his own break, mind you, but he's going to be one up. And those two reds in that bottom left-hand corner were always going to be a problem in such a tight space for Tommyy, and that's been his undoing in that rack. And that sounds dry to me. Oh no, a red has gone somewhere, I never noticed it. Now, what do you go for here? I mean, the reds don't look bad apart from that red that's above the 8-ball. You've just got to get to it. But, you know, there's only certain pockets certain reds will go into. So that one in the middle of the table, for example, I mean, that one there, it looks easy enough where it's sitting, but it only actually goes in to these two corners. Well, even that one is a tight line, but now I think Tommy's not get much of an option here. He's trying to squeeze it in. He's got it. But like I say, this is a problem. He's going to run into that yellow, so he's going to have to try and hold the cue ball, which he has done. Now another little delicate one. Doesn't want to hook himself, obviously. And a little nudge has done the trick there, but this is going to have to go at least 2 rails, I would think. Or is he trying to stun and come out into the gap? Well, this is tricky. I think he's second thoughts about it. He's going 2 rails. And if it goes into the gap, that's perfect. That will do nice. So a quick response from Tommyy. Oh dear. Has that got the legs? No, it hasn't. Well, could that be a big mistake? Because that goes down as one of them. And Zangetsu can't believe he's back at the table. But this is one way that you can capitalise from these unforced errors. You've simply got to put these away. And he wants to be dropping this yellow in and taking the one that's right next to the cue ball next, I think. I wouldn't want to be trying to get good on that. Well, he's run away from it. Now, what's the angle like in the other one? Well, he could take a run at this and run it around the corner to come round for that yellow. The worst thing that will happen is he's still on one of these two down here. But he's got to get on that one, and that's the problem. Now he's got an angle where he can hold for it. And he's looking at, I thought he was, for a minute there, I thought he was looking at cut the other one down the rail, but that does go into the side. It's tight, but it goes in. And he's not got a hold of the cue ball there. I don't know whether he was trying to play, well, I'm assuming he was trying to play that into the same pocket, but he hasn't got into the cue ball enough. And I don't think he can see enough of that to pot that one, can he? I don't think so. And it's going to end up going funny because he couldn't get good on this one. This was always going to be the issue. And now, well, this depends on how this cue ball comes off the rail, because this cue ball may well be hitting the knuckle and it might come off at a funny line. Let's see what happens. You see what I mean? It's come off dead and gone entirely the opposite direction he wanted to go, and now Zangetsu's got himself in trouble, and the trouble was always coming because he couldn't get good on that yellow ball. And I think he had one way of doing it where he had a 2-in-1 shot and he's cross-banked it to get out of it. That's a good recovery. Well, he found a way out there, but he did it the hard way. The yellow ball goes in. Once again, we've got a strange setup here. Look at the way these yellows are in a hexagon in the middle of the table. One yellow up table. Red's all over the place, but every single ball has a pocket. And this could be a big, big rack for Zangetsu here. And I think he's going to be forced into taking the reds because he's not sitting good in any yellows. But if he can get himself out here, that's really going to put Tommyy on the ropes. And straight away, he's almost got himself in trouble, but he's fine. But this has suddenly developed into a very important rack, the way these balls are broken, because you're expecting to run the table here. And I think, well, again, he's got lucky. He's still got a shot. Well, that one on the inside is the one that is definitely on. I don't know about the other one. Well, the one into the side, and he should be maybe trying to get down. Let's have a wee look. He should be trying to sort of stun down a bit. That way he can give himself a two-way shot. The one into the side or the one into the corner. Or if he goes too far, the other one into the corner. But he wants to be trying to play for this one, I think. Well, he hasn't done that. So again, he's got to get good on what seems to be possibly his last red. And again, he wants to roll forward far enough. He needs to get the movement in the cue ball. And that's not it. That's not it. That cue ball needed to be there. And now he's running away. I don't know whether he can stun across that way. But he's trying to... He's now got himself in no man's land here. Well, it will be an important rack, especially if Zangetsu can't run this out. But no doubt about it. And it's 3-0. Couldn't have asked for a better start. And he's holding his nerve. And Tommyy, with the break in rack number 4, has got work to do. Red is gone. Once again, though, you've got a problem in this bottom end of the table with these two yellows and the two reds and the yellows splitting the two reds. And that's an obvious problem. And I don't think you can see enough. No, you can't. I was wondering if you could see enough of that red there to come around or bump this one, but he can't do that. And now he's dead straight, which is good because he just wants to be rolling through, but he has to roll through far enough. This needs to roll through like to maybe here, where he can pot that and get a nudge. That might be too far. I think he's gone too far. Well, he's going to have to run across and leave an awkward cut, and he's running in. Right on the rail. That's even worse. Well, the cue ball's coming out into the open, there's no doubt about that, but it's going to come out into the open a fair bit. It might end up down the bottom of the table here. He's got to get enough pace in this to pot the red. I don't think that's getting there. It's not getting... No. Well, Zangetsu, if he keeps capitalising on these chances he's getting, Tommy's in dire straits. Well, there's a long way to go. But the obvious ball that's going to cause Zangetsu trouble is right at the bottom of the screen. You can only get that into the one corner pocket at the bottom left here. So he's got to find a way to get there. Trouble is, if he made a move to get down to this yellow right now, he doesn't have a bailout ball up table. There's nothing sitting easy. So he's having to work with what he's got at the moment, and then he'll be committed to getting onto this yellow down the right hand side. So there's one shot that's going to make or break the rack, and this possibly is it if he's running down with the angle he has. And he's just overcooked it slightly. I think he'll avoid hitting the 8 ball. But where's the cue ball ending up? That's the more important thing. Well, definitely now. I mean, this yellow cuts, but once again, he's got no idea where the cue ball's finishing. Well, he's played the bank, looking for second prize there with cover, but he hasn't got it. So this is a lifeline for Tommyy that he's desperate for to get off the map. Needs to get that cue ball out, and made sure he got out big time. So if Tommyy can roll this in, it'll be a sigh of relief. So the break is back with Zangetsu with a 3-1 lead. Now that definitely sounded as if it was dry. Well, the first thing you notice is the 8 ball's dead in the rail. Or it looks pretty much so. That is frozen to the rail. And that's not what you want to be playing. That 8 ball could do with a nudge one way or another. You've really got to get so good on that 8 ball. So Tommyy has chosen the reds. And this is not an easy table, especially when he's got a problem up table as well. Next to the yellow at the top end. He's got limited choices here. And I'm sure, well, I'm wondering if he did play just to put that red over the pocket, because that was probably the wisest thing to do. Good evening to Wit. I see Ted Hankey get jailed for 2 years today, or whenever it was. Was it yesterday or was it today? It must have been yesterday because I saw it in the text. And seemingly this was caught in video. I never knew about that. This sexual assault that he was up to. Well, that's his career over. I think it was pretty much over anyway. Yep, Martin Offler is from the northeast of England. So something tells me that this rack's going to take a little while to resolve itself here. Zangetsu on the yellows. Problems on the side rail, problems with the yellow up table. Slim, I saw there was a documentary or an interview or something with Mark Knopfler I was watching, I think, on YouTube, and I don't think you might be right in one sense. I don't think he's a native Geordie. I don't think that's where he was born. You might be right. You might have a point. I think you need to go onto Google. Yeah, I think that's right. You're perfectly correct, Slim. He is a Scot. I think you are correct. I will stand by that, Slim. Well, that's it. I'll tell you, that flag is what was on one of the flag sites, and it's as good a flag as any for me because it said South Africa. So I presume that's where he's from. See? Wait a minute. Yeah, you're right enough, it's wrong, but that's the flag that was next to it. Mind you, they might have changed their flag after apartheid and all of that carry on. I don't know whether they did. Maybe that website was out of date. I'll look at that later. Well, I won't need to if Zangetsu doesn't survive this match, but I'll do that if it comes to it. But meanwhile, Tommy's got problems ahead here. The one good thing is, though, that these two reds are adjacent. Now, he would want to be taking the inside one first, because there's no point in taking the outside one, because that's never going to be good to get back onto this other one. So this is the critical shot to hold the line, and again he's got too much angle. He's going to have to nurse this in as little as he dare to try and keep this cue ball to as shallow an angle as he can. And that's a pretty good effort, because we know that this is nailed to the rail and he's got to get this flush or it'll pop out, and it's trying to escape, but that's well done. And Tommyy, with the break now, is back within one. Yellow ball goes in, and well, that red just nudged the yellow to the rail. So I think the other immediate problem is that Tommyy, I don't think, has a choice other than no, he can cut that red into the side. So I don't think he'll be that interested in the yellows for the point of view that that one's stuck there. I mean, that's not really in a great position, and there's no way you're playing for that to drop that into the side. Forget that idea. He's going for reds every day of the week. Well, I was hoping Steve would come along tonight and tell us that. So Tommyy now does he want to be leaving that little combo into the side? I mean, he could play this red here and then play the little combo into the side. And this just needs to be nice and gentle, because he doesn't want this red to leak up towards, well, he's hit it firm. Well, I think he was making sure that the red was staying in the middle of the table somewhere. Well, he's got it to the middle of the table. The problem is he's got to get good on it. Well, this is a little soft dink into the side, but Once again, though, the cue ball leaks away, and I think he's going to have to get lucky here to have a shot in this other red. So red into the side of the yellow. I presume that's what he's playing. And you know what I say about getting lucky. That's what can happen. And Zangetsu should be ready to pounce here. But Tommyy knows that Zangetsu's got this problem yellow. He's had a blast. And, well, it could have turned out worse. I mean, he could have moved that yellow that's near the side pocket. At least he hasn't done that. And the other problem is Zangetsu would have to get good on this yellow here to avoid running into the 8 when he's trying to pot it. And so he's got a bit of thinking to do here, Zangetsu. So now I think he'll obviously be dropping down off this one into the side. Does he want to be dropping right down onto the bottom rail? Because he's going to have to come back down here at least once more if he doesn't take both of these down by the 8 ball. And he's got to get back up for that awkward one. Well, he might nudge this yellow along the rail, maybe to buy some time. Or is he going to take the top one? I think he's maybe in a bit of two minds here what he should be doing. Whereas you just try and nudge this along to the pocket like that. And that was probably a good idea. So now that's left Zangetsu in a spot of bother, because obviously he can't pot the yellow which is on the 8 ball. It will obviously go into the yellow over the pocket, but he's got to take this one down the rail. Difficult cueing over that red ball. And Tommyy just trying to get this red ball out into the table somewhere. And this is buying time for Tommyy, because that yellow, as long as that yellow's over that right rail, Zangetsu's not got an easy job of getting out here. And again, he can't pot that yellow past the 8 ball. Plenty of pockets elsewhere, but that isn't the issue. It's how does he get good on that red, the yellow that's on that rail. And Tommy's resting on that fact that he might not be able to get there. Well, that is really, really tight to try and drop that in. Not only that, but you would have to try and drop that in at such a pace to get the cue ball out. Well, he'll settle for that though. So Zangetsu has the upper hand here. Again, Tommyy should just have a blast at it and hope he gets lucky. Well, it's going to be a free shot. He'd have been better. Oh, it's a full snooker, isn't it? Again, I forgot about that, but I just remembered at the very last second. And that's not a bad outcome either for Tommyy. Well, I think I'd be just clipping that. Now, this isn't a full snooker, but he's got the ball to a rail, and again he's left Tommyy, well, an enticement for a bank here. But Tommy's buying himself time. Now that is a full snooker. Now, is Tommyy going to bite the bullet now and go for the thin cut? Or is he going to try and duck behind the 8 ball? Cue ball's going up and down the table here. He's gone for it. Now how's the kiss going to work out? Half ball. Well, this is well in bedhead territory, this 8 ball. But this to square the match. And it's game on again. So Tommy's worked his way back into it. Break goes back to Zangetsu. Yellow ball goes in, bottom left. And, well, I think he'd prefer the reds, I would say. Red up above the 8 ball isn't a problem, it's easy to get to. The 2 reds in the bottom of the table here, easy enough to get to. And every other red has a pocket, but he's got to take them in the right order to get his way out here. And I don't know whether he's overhit that. I'm assuming he's overhit that. I would have thought he might have been trying to take the one at the bottom here. Now he's got to find his way back down here. And he's hung the red. And Zangetsu may well just... Tommyy may well block the pocket like that. And that little shot there's immediately changed Zangetsu's thinking. Now I think he could thin that red that's just to the right of that bottom left hand corner pocket. I think he could thin that across the table to get control of the other pocket. But it wouldn't really help him a great deal, but it would certainly put that ball in a better position than it is at the moment. But I think Zangetsu's also thinking, if I leave that red there, then those other 2 yellows to the right of the red are not going anywhere fast. So he's buying time, again, leaving that red there. So this all depends on what sort of mindset you're in. Whether you're trying to go for the kill, or whether you're just buying time. And Tommyy now in a similar situation with these problem yellows down the bottom. Is he going for a hit up and down here and trying to nudge something? Now, is he going to... I don't know. I don't think he wants to be playing a 3 ball combo, does he? You know, maybe if he hit that hard enough, the yellow would go in, but he would need to hit that hard enough to try and get the red ball away from there. But he's decided again to play for time. Well, he could bank the red, but again, that's committing himself. And he's committed, and he's gone for it. But he's going to have to play another little tricky one up table. He's got no other shot on. And that's overcut. So now it's Tommyy has the dilemma because the 8-ball, once again, is only going in one pocket. And he's got that yellow up table, which would allow him, if he can get good on it, to get as good as he can on that 8-ball down the rail. Welcome to Bankster. Welcome to anybody else who's arrived. Good evening to Hazad. So Zangetsu got off to a good start. 3 racks to 0 lead. And Tommy's managed to battle his way back into it. And now Tommyy is in no man's land. He's got himself on the yellow that I don't believe he wanted to get on now, but he's got no other option. Again, he'll be glad it didn't go in, because he would have had to work that cue ball 3 rails off this yellow to try and get onto that 8-ball. Zangetsu, I don't know whether he's well, I don't know whether that red would follow the yellow in. I'm assuming he's trying to get himself as straight as he could on it there to try and play that shot, to try and get that red to follow the yellow into the hole. It might be worthwhile having a go at this, because Tommy's still got work to do, not only to pot this last yellow, but to get somewhere onto the 8-ball where he can shoot it down this rail. Now Zangetsu trying to come across, no. Well, it's done everything but go in. But will that be enough? Can Tommyy get this cue ball out of this corner pocket up top right to get right onto the rail? Well, I think he's tried to get a nudging 8-ball there, but didn't really get anywhere near it. So now he's going to have to try and dig out a good shot, and this is right in the pocket, and that's about as good as he could do. Now the good news is it's a good few millimetres off that rail, but anything just too close to the rail too soon is going to catch that nudge, that bump of the pocket, and he's cut it away, and that's not going in. And Zangetsu with a similar problem. Red over the corner pocket, and got to get onto this right side. Mind you, it's a much easier shot that Zangetsu's got. Well, running the cue ball loose like that's dangerous. And I think he's actually created a problem for himself here, because he's stuck the 8-ball to the rail. That's frozen as well. And this has got to get nudged in firm to get this cue ball across. And these pockets give you nothing. Yeah. Well, we know what's happening with this ball here. If he does not get this flush, that's coming straight off the rail and hanging in the pocket at best. But he's played it well. And he's back into the lead. Hang on a minute. Right, that should keep everybody happy now. No, I had the flag. I just couldn't find it. Anyway, everybody should be happy now. Meanwhile, it's 4-all. Now, does that yellow squeeze past? Yes, it does. The only problem is it doesn't squeeze past as a combo on the other one. Well, I reckon if Zangetsu doesn't get rid of that yellow now, it's going to be extremely difficult to pot that other yellow in the rail. It cleanly goes once that one's out of the way. And ideally, he wants to be taking the one down the left. Well, he has to because he can't see anything else. The one into the side. So, once again, it's all about getting down far enough. You know, even sort of there will do because you're just dropping into the side and finishing in the rail. So, he should be out, provided he can hold for the 8 ball, and that should just be a kill shot for the 8 ball into the left side pocket. Well, it looks fairly straightforward to me. All you do is just stun that in, and you know you've got to get it flush because if you don't, well, he's trying to just baby it in and still have a pot, and I think he does still have a pot just. So this for a 5-4 lead, he's caught the knuckle, but it's gone in. Just brushed that knuckle of the pocket, but brushed it thin enough. The break goes back to Tommyy for rack number 10, and immediately he's had a ball in the break, but he's got a problem. And there's certainly no obvious shot in the meantime that he can play to break either of those 2 balls out up top left. Yeah, they've still got double deckers in London. They've got new ones now. They're totally different from your traditional double deckers that you saw 50 years ago. So nobody's had an opportunity yet where they can try and get a nudge onto this red and yellow. Still an open table. And you can't really get to that red to pot it, I don't think. But Zangetsu's committed himself to the reds. And then there's the other problem. Now, does that red pass the yellow? Yes, it does. Not an awful lot going for Zangetsu here. Well, one problem has been resolved, and theoretically there's now no problem up top. Tommyy, I think, can certainly cut this yellow in. He might be... No, I thought he might have been running into that red, but he was nowhere near it. And Tommyy now will just be pushing this red. It's not the red, the yellow. I'm losing track already. Take it that yellow goes into the side, no problem. Yes, it does. Well, every visit now is important, especially when all the balls have a pocket, because you're going to, you're going to feel it's a fail at this stage in the tournament if you can't find your way out, especially if you're trailing by one and it's on your own break. Oh, now he's got to be careful, because he's going to have to, I presume, open the angle here to come around behind the 8-ball. Is he going to try and drop this in and just hold? I think he can drop this in. Yeah. And he has held it. Now, the angle that he has, can he come around far enough? Oh, again, he's trying to hold it for the cut. These are all little testy shots he's played so far, and a final one to square the match. And that's a good out, because he's working in a tightish space there. Just dropping the pace in that cue ball to hold for a potting angle in those couple of shots, and he did well. And Zangetsu's break in rack number 11, I think, is dry. Now that red, well, it's certainly not accessible. And where the cue ball's sitting, Tommyy, I don't think, is very keen on the reds, with that red sitting down below the yellow here. And he'll be able to get rid of that yellow above the red almost immediately. Now, what about this 8-ball? Well, the 8-ball goes into the top corner. It squeezes into that side pocket, but there's not much room that way. So again, he's got to be thinking ahead. There's another tricky setup here. But it's a chance, nevertheless, for Tommyy to get himself into the lead for the first time in this match. And he's on track at the moment. Now, a little soft draw stun off this yellow, I would think. But he doesn't want to get into it too much. He could end up hooking himself behind that red. And he's played it well. And now another soft dink. Or is he going to try and hold for this 8 ball into the side, because he's got barely half a pocket to get that 8 ball in there? Is he trying to get through? This is a funny line here where this cue ball's going. It might be going in between the 8 ball and the red. Well, he's played the stunt to come up, and that's the one wide open pocket he could get onto, and that's perfect. So Tommyy has stolen that rack off Zangetsu, and now on his own break, and he has a couple of balls. Well, more than a couple. But now the decision is where does he go from here? Well, we can all see where the issue lies with those two. But if Tommyy takes the reds, he can easily get on to that red into the corner pocket with the 2 reds that he's been working with here, so that isn't a problem. And that's the main reason that he's probably taking the reds. Plenty of room for that to go in if he's cutting the one into the corner. But he just wants to softly dink this into the corner. So the problem with this one is he's just running away. He should still be on another shot after this. But he'd much rather be dealing with this situation here, I think. The only thing he's worried about is the bounce that the cue ball would have at this thinner cut. It would be coming back into the table. You just have to barely nurse this into the pocket. And you see where it's ended up. He's ended up in a bit of trouble. He's going to be right over this yellow more or less. In fact, I think he's fine. I think he can get the centre of the cue ball. That's not as bad as it looked. Good evening to Brain Fill Out. Well, Tommy's missed the cut, but he's got the most important thing. He's got control of the pocket for the time being. Zangetsu's the one with work to do. He may well roll through and play the bank on this yellow ball. That would be maybe his best bet. The bank looks good. If he can just drop through 2 or 3 inches, and that's not in bad shape, he may well be going for the bank. And this is a critical shot in this rack, because if he gets it, he's looking favourite to be out, but he's had a double kiss, and that's done him. The double kiss has ruined that idea. So Tommyy has got one problem red to get good on, and that's the one above the yellow in the side pocket. I mean, it's obviously got a pocket to go into. He's just got to get nice on it. Now, if he takes it now, the problem again is he's stuck to the rail here. He's only going forward, and the further he goes, the easier the next pot is, but the further he goes, the closer to that 8 ball he gets. Now, he's still in good shape. Now, once again, does he come back off this, or does he go forward and around? Oh, he's played the nudge. Well, that worked out. The little combo. And suddenly, Tommyy should have a 2-rack lead here. Well, I think that's becoming a pattern for some of Tommy's matches here. He's a bit of a slow starter. It takes him 2 or 3 racks to find his pace. And then when he finds his pace, he's off and running. And he settles into the game and starts doing the hard work. And that's why he's got himself into a 7-5 lead. So Zangetsu breaking for the second time. And this time it's a legal break. The 8 ball stays in the table. A couple of balls have gone in. And if he's going to do anything, he'll be playing the combo straight away here to pot the yellow. The other thing is, he wants to stay up there to try and deal with this yellow. Not just that one, but this one here. Oh, he's got to be going for the combo. I think that's gone wrong. He can't see the yellow, and he can't see any other yellow. I mean, he can easily kick this yellow, but there's nothing doing for him anywhere else in the table. Well, he tried to nudge that yellow in with a little kick. He didn't get the block in the pocket either. And straight away, Tommyy in for the kill here. He's still got one problem red, and that's that one. Now, once again, the obvious shot would be this one to get onto the 8. So I don't think he'll be touching that red ball. And he's now got himself on the problem red. And once again, it's what you're comfortable with. Do you roll through, therefore having to cut this red in, or do you play it more safe and come back the way and try and get straight on it? And he's gone through and left the cut. Now I can't see any way he's holding this cue ball for the 8 ball at a comfortable angle. And that's again another testy cut. Again, he's not hampered a lot here by this yellow. It's all about the pot. He's quite happy to leave these type of angles. But this will give him a 3-rack lead. And it's a big ask now for Zangetsu. But the 8 ball has hung in the pocket. And Zangetsu has a get out of jail card here from Tommyy. And it simply has to go. Well, the pressure's on Zangetsu now because he was staring at a 3-rack deficit. And now he's been given the chance to get it back to within 1. And this has got to go clean. Any nudging that yellow and this may well stay up. but it's got a nudge on it, and it has gone in. Certainly didn't want to hit that any thicker, but he'll take it. Well, again, for any latecomers that have arrived, there was a doubt that this match was going to be on. 2 days ago, Tommyy spoke to me, saying that he might have to work tonight. And obviously now that's proven not to be the case. But Zangetsu has been in the lobby pretty much all day, because I've been in and out all day, and when I've been here, he's been here, and he's been in practicing all day. Tommyy just showed up, 10 minutes before the match was due to start. But Zangetsu did what was asked of him there, got himself out. Tommy's break in rack number 14 has given him a ball. Now, where does he go from here? He's looking at the Reds. There's problems at both ends of the tables for the Reds. And that certainly nudged that one free. It does cut. But this is a one that will go past that yellow, I think. And then again, the more I look at it, the more it doesn't. Yes, it does, but it's very tight. You've got to get really good on it. So this is in or over the pocket, this red. And now that has created more of a problem, because now the 8-ball is surrounded by yellows. Well, that's taking care of the issue with the red and yellow together at the bottom of the table here. And Tommyy needs 2 more good shots after this, because I'll tell you what, this red down the rail isn't the problem. The problem is getting in the 8-ball, and he's got to have an angle on this red where he can push it in. But the most important thing is get this cue ball out to here, where he can play the 8-ball up table. And that's enough angle to be working with, but the danger with this is the pace in these corner pockets, because this could easily stay up, because he's got to get the cue ball out. It's got to get out into the table, and he's gone as far as he dare. It's a blind pocket shot, but it does go. But there's a pressure on it though. And Tommy's been handling the pressure pretty good in these matches, and there's not a problem there. Cue ball stays in the table. Good shot, and a 2-rack lead again. Oh, this is a right proper mess down here on the right hand side. Zangetsu's break has given him a ball. I don't think there's much doubt in that he's going to be taking the yellows. And Zangetsu, from this visit, should be out. This is the level that Zangetsu has to be playing at now. He's got a wide open table. There's no doubt it's the yellows. He's got 2 yellows pretty much over pockets. One of them certainly that he's taken out. And now he's going to play the combo along the rail. Well, I don't know why. But that's what you certainly should be doing. He's looking around and looking around, but I don't think he should be looking around any further than what he's looking at here. Get this nudged along. Again, get it in or over the pocket. And now you've got to be fully committed. You've got to get rid of that one. I don't think you should be dicing with death, trying to cut that one into the side. I mean, there's no point in leaving that there to guard the pocket. It's not guarding it from anything. He's got to go for the kill. And that nudging the 8-ball hasn't done a lot of harm. But this is a critical shot here from this yellow and getting this cue ball into a spot where he has a shot. Now, looking at the angle here, and again he's close to the rail, so he's limited in what he can do. And he's now got himself into that no man's land territory. He's got a dodgy cut. Now, is he playing this plain ball, or does he try and do anything? Well, he just played it plain ball, ran into the 8-ball. 8-ball's well off the rail. Now, Tommyy, if he pots this red, should have Zangetsu in trouble. As he will do in a second or two. Or is he going to try and manufacture a win and run out here with this setup where these balls are lying? He might be just, again, biding his time here. But I think most players with this setup of these reds would be looking at ducking away in a corner and forcing Zangetsu to kick. But Tommyy keeps potting balls. Now he could have put Zangetsu away earlier than this. He's still potting balls, and now he's got to duck. Now how are those two reds sitting? Well, I don't know that they're an actual dead set combo. It looks as if it's going to the jaw. But if Tommyy gets what he's hoping for here with a free shot, he'll be able to deal with that situation no problem. Zangetsu looking for the kick to the yellow up towards that corner pocket. That's going to miss it. So Tommyy has now the option to either play in place or play from bulk, which he's chosen to do. Now this will be dangerous it'll be dangerous if he's trying to run into these two, because I think pocket pace, this may well be in or over the pocket. It's not 100% convincing that it'll go in. Now, the more you look at it, the more you do see it does go. And now he's in prime position to open this gap to 3, but more crucially, a lead of 3 and needing only 2 to survive. And now it's a big, tall order for Zangetsu. And what's more, it's Tommy's break. He's had a ball. Now, where does he go with this setup? Now again, he could start off with a combo into the side, and that then makes sure he's on the reds, and it also clears that problem. And now he's again in no man's land. Well, this will just be a little, again, a nudge in or over the pocket. I was in the other place the other day. They've now, I noticed, got the template rack in beta in the game. I don't know whether that actually has any effect on how the balls break in the game, but you have the choice. You can have them racked with a normal rack, or you can have them racked with a template, and it disappears from the table once you broke the balls, obviously. Well, this is a big visit for Zangetsu. I'm falling asleep here. The yawns are coming thick and fast. Because that commitment to the yellows, well, he's blocked the pocket. Had that gone in, he would have had one long yellow to continue the run. But he's resting on the fact that he's got control of this corner pocket for the time being. Yeah, the other place. The place that at 11:30 this morning was 107 people playing, and I'm not meaning about the amount of people that were online. There was 107 people in rooms playing, whereas there was 23 in VP4. Once again, Zangetsu just playing for position, and now he's got control of both pockets at the top end, which again just means that Tommy's got work to do. So right of this minute, Zangetsu is in control of this rack. Until Tommyy did that. Well, this is an exchange over the next couple of minutes that Zangetsu simply has to win if his prospects of staying in the tournament are to keep going. He's got to win. He's got to be on top at the end of this rack, I think, to survive. Let's have a quick look at this yellow from the top rail. Well, I mean, you can roll to the yellow at a pace, but will you hit it enough that it will go in? Now, what's happened there? I heard two things dropping. Well, I don't think that was in Zangetsu's plan, because I was thinking now he's going to be chipping it and it will go in, but he's got to get the cue ball out. This is tight. Well, this is a pressure shot for Zangetsu. Roll the yellow in and roll through. The angle's coming away from the yellow, get into the side pocket. So he'll have a pot, but he's trying to hold it and hold it and hold it, and he has done. But he's maybe held it too well. This is... oh, that's well played. That is very well played to hold the cue ball, to leave that 8 into the side. And Zangetsu has stolen that break off Tommyy, and he needs another one to back it up here with his own break. But I don't see anything going in. And again, look at this pattern we've got here. We've seen weird things like this. We've got all the yellows on one side of the table and all the reds apart from one on the other side of the table. And this is the one that will hurt Zangetsu, because he just stole that rack off Tommyy. He's come up dry, and Tommy's got a wide open table of red balls to get himself out and get himself onto the hill. Well, we've seen this more than once though. We've had racks where the balls have broke horrible. We've had racks where they've broke and they've all had about the same gap between each ball and the table's been wide open. And then we've had racks like this where the balls are all gathered to one end of the table or one corner, and each in their own set, their own, their own colours, and it's just a weird thing that happens. Well, Tommy's went up for what possibly would have been his last red had the pattern been different than this, but you have to sometimes just make do with what you end up getting. But Tommy's touch just seems to get better and better as the match goes on. He's judging the lightness of this cue ball. He's got the hang of that. And that is a sore one for Zangetsu. He's done nothing wrong other than break dry. And Tommy's come in and ran the table. And we'll have a look at the stats at the end of this match, because Tommyy, again, is going to be well in front, I think, here with racks ran. Bearing in mind that he and others now in contention for the racks ran record in the tournament are all on the one-loss side. But meanwhile, Tommy's broke dry, and immediately Zangetsu comes to the table knowing there's only one option here. And the option is to try and find your way out. And I don't know whether that will get it done. I mean, that... he can't see enough of that one to pot it. This one here, he could try playing a little cut onto that to nudge that in, or he could try cutting that red up past that red into that corner. But it is extremely tight. Well, you look at how... Well, when you look at the... Oh, he's gone for the cut. That's an excellent shot. And that is... Oh, has he got the nudge? I thought he was going to be really unlucky there, but he's okay. Yeah, Tommy's already won at least 4 matches in the one-loss side, I think, if we look at the bracket in a minute or two. He's battled all the way through this one-loss side. But this is, I think Zangetsu, has he just got on this red? I think he has. No, he hasn't. I thought he could just see enough of it. But Tommyy at the table, all his yellows available, but they're not in a perfect setup. It's going to be a tall order to run this table. These two yellows that are in the top half of the table are the main issue. Blocked by the red over the corner pocket. He's trying to get a nudge. Well, he's certainly got one into play. And he's still got the other problem. And he may well try to come down behind this yellow off the one into the side. What's the angle he's got? It's not very great. But he's running out of ball, so the critical shot, oh, and he's hung the yellow. And Zangetsu breathes again. Well, maybe Tommyy should have just taken a wee bit more time. Use the shot clock. But every shot now for Zangetsu, it's a pressure shot. Well, this has got to go 2 rails and out. Would be the obvious path. Plenty of room on the right side to get on that red into the same pocket. Well, he's decided to cut the first one in. I don't think I would have been brave enough to do that. I think I would have just cut that one and come around 2 rails and out. But anyway, as long as you get the job done, it doesn't matter. This is fairly straightforward. Pocket weight, just get it online and it's bound to go in. And it's a good out for Zangetsu. Now, who said 11-9? Was it you that said 11-9? What? Well, unfortunately for Zangetsu, once again, this has happened before. He's stole the rack off Tommyy. Zangetsu breaks and comes up dry, and that again could be very sore to take in a minute or two here if Tommyy can get started. All these yellows go. The first one is a tough one. And then it goes. And his second one is going to be the... I don't know whether he can see that. Yes, I think he can just get to it. Well, Zangetsu, I don't think has really done anything majorly wrong in this match. He's had 2 dry breaks. The first one cost him dearly. And this second one here, with Tommyy at the table, could be the ultimate price to pay. Tommy's tried to bank this yellow down. Well, he hasn't got the pot. He's got control of the pocket. And, well, Zangetsu has got all the work to do here. He's in no shape here to be running the table. Now, as far as I can recollect, this has been Zangetsu's one of the first tournaments that he signed up to. in VP4. Let's have a look at this profile. 17th of March. Well, he's been here since 2018, so he's maybe somebody that's changed their name. He's not a rookie player. But certainly, I've never seen that name in many tournaments until this one came along. And it's not a bad performance, shall we say. He should be quite happy with how he's played. And it ain't over yet. He was touching the 8-ball there. Well, he's going to have to get clever in a minute or two. Now, what's he doing here? Is he banking this across the table, or what's he trying to do here? I wonder. Is he trying to cut it in the side? Oh yes, he is. What a shot! Beautiful little cut. I mean, those shots are not easy. I mean, that is tight to get that into the side. Well, obviously we know what he tried there. He was trying for some sort of hit to try and free those reds up into a better position. Well, now is he going? Well, there's no way that red's following the yellow in. Now, what's he trying to do? Is he trying to thin this in and get some sort of spin in the cue ball, or is he trying to run it up to the corner? This is, he's went for a big stunt, but he hasn't blocked the pockets. So Tommyy has his chance to seal the deal. And Tommyy is just tightening the noose here, locking the yellow over the pocket and locking the cue ball away, or trying to. Well, he's bound to hit a red here, I would think. And that is the ultimate one. So Tommyy has his free shot and his chance to win the match. And Zangetsu was backed into a corner there. Tommyy did the right thing, just to apply the tourniquet, or the what do you call it? Not the tourniquet. Well, you know what I mean. Tighten the noose. That's the word I was looking for. Around Zangetsu's neck. Apply even more pressure. Well, he's close to the rail. He can only get to the top of the cue ball, so he's going to have to bump this in, come back down the table, find the pace, and if he overhits it like that, he wants to be lying plumb into the side pocket for the match. And so it's Tommyy from Germany who goes through from a 3-0 deficit at the start of the match. He's battled his way back in it, and he's won the critical racks, especially the ones from Zangetsu's dry breaks, and Tommyy runs out 11 racks to 8. But Zangetsu has put up a very good performance during this tournament, none more so than putting Stubb back into his cage and sending him over to the one loss side early on. But Tommyy marches on. And let's look if I can get this damn thing to work at the bracket just for confirmation. And we will see that Tommyy is through. And Tommyy will be playing the winner of Semi-Pro and Larry, who go head to head 7 p.m. on Saturday night, British Summer Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Pacific. Meanwhile, we have the hot seat match between Albinario and Cobra. Now that match, the deadline is May the 20th, and these matches, the one that is going ahead on Saturday, the deadline for that was May the 20th as well, so there's plenty of time for Albinario and Cobra to get their act together. Now if we go to the stats, we'll have a quick look, not the bloody bracket again, the stats. If we look at the break stats, runouts from the break, we can see that Tommyy has now got a 4-rack lead there. Tommyy, who of course has played one more match than Semi-Pro, he's leading by 4. Semi-Pro and Albinario tied on 11. Cobra on 10. And obviously Cobra's played the least amount of matches to get this far, with 10 racks on the run out. Snake Eyes on 9, Larry on 8. Larry is, I think, the only one that's left in that list of players that's still in the tournament who has a chance to improve that. What else do you want to look at? Racks ran. Tommyy well in front with 23. Semi-Pro in 15, tied with Albinario. Cobra on 13, and Larry on 11. And 8-ball shot. Tommyy with 93 8-ball shots, 68 have gone in. Mark Sharp 72-47. Popman 65 with 48. Stubb 56 with 48. Zangetsu 55 with 51, which is a good percentage. Larry with 53 and 45. Snake Eyes 51 and 44. Semi-Pro 46 and 44, so Semi-Pro's get the best strike rate there. Cobra 46 and 39. And Albinario also, I think, more or less tying with Semi-Pro, although Semi-Pro's had more racks. Albinario 44 with 42 8-balls going in. And that, I think, is all the stats we want to be looking at. Have these balls made? Tommyy is out in front there with 1.7 balls in the break. Quagmire, well, these are players that are out of the tournament. The next nearest to him is actually Cobra with 1.2. Stubbs out the tournament 1.2. Semi-Pro 1.18. Albinario 1.16. And I think that is pretty much it. Zangetsu 1.02. And Larry's way down there. Larry's had less than a ball in the break, so that's one thing Larry will be looking to improve, get that closer to the 1. So that is it, folks. The next big match is Saturday night, and that's the one between Larry and Semi-Pro to see who's going to play Tommyy in the next round on that one-loss side. So, if you can't be there, always go back to YouTube. It will be on there. What the hell's all this stuff I've pasted into the chat? So well done to Tommyy, and well done to Zangetsu for getting that far in what seems to be his first big tournament. I hope you can join us. Until we meet again, stay safe, take care, and I will bid you good night.
Good night, ladies.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.
We don't make mistakes here. We just have happy accidents.
Where's the cue ball going?